Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this kitchen item series from Rooms of Wonder by Johanna Basford, and today we have 3 spoons in a dish, very fancy dish, and then another little lidded container in front. So I'm having a little think about what to do with this one. I think I quite like the idea of doing the spoons as sort of stainless steel spoons this time, just to show you a different way. We did wooden spoons last time we had spoons, so I thought it would be more useful for me to show you something different. So I find the Cool Grey Deep is pretty good at showing you how to do silver. So these they really do look to me like wooden spoons, but we're going to pretend they're not. So we're using Johanna's marks as a guide to start with, so just putting some dark pencil on there, and then I'm just going to extend that a bit like that. Now thinking the handle might have a bit of shine, and we need a little bit of marking on the outside of the spoon, but this is would be, you know, you want to show some shine on the sides. I think I'll just put a bit more in here like that. Hopefully that looks a little bit shiny. So the idea of leaving some white in the middle means that it looks like there's some shine on there and on the sides and elsewhere. That, and if you do some areas much darker, it helps to emphasize that shine a bit more, like that. And then we'll do the same with this one. And Johanna has usefully sort of filled in some of the areas for us, so we sort of know what we're doing. And you can tell I'm only using one pencil. You can use several different shades of grey, but it's a lot easier and simpler just to use one, so I thought I would just show you with one. There we go. If it was a larger object, it would make a lot more sense to use lots of different pencils, but we'll leave that there. Okay, now the pot they're in, I'm thinking maybe terracotta-y. Our last spoons were in a terracotta pot, so I don't think we should do that actually. Let's go for a heather purple, just because it's quite pretty, and why not? So heather purple, we haven't used it, I don't think either. So that's another good reason. Now there's a few different bits and pieces on this pot. For example, under here there's a little bit. So I'm thinking, and seems to be a stripe there and a stripe there. So I'm going to not do the whole thing in this colour, but most of it. So quite intense there, and then less towards the middle. I want to make it look like it's a sort of shiny ceramic type pot with a bit of shine in the middle. Oops. And then I'm going to do all of this bit. So I'm over colouring that a bit to make it more intense. Don't colour over the lid of the other pot. That was a warning to me, by the way, not you. I'm sure you're quite aware. It's me that's more likely to go wrong. I think I'm going to do the handles in the colour that I do these little bits, just so it ties it together a bit more. They're good handles, aren't they? You can imagine having a nice rich stew in this pot. It's cold today. I could just eat a stew for my lunch. I won't be though. Don't have any of the winter vegetable ingredients. I have some carrots, but that's sweet potato. I always like sprouts, Brussels sprouts in my stew, and sometimes I put turnip in or swede, much to my one son's dismay. He'll still eat it, he'll just whinge a bit. And I usually put in peas and flashlet beans. Yum. It's nicer with onion, but I can't eat it onions, so don't put that in. Right, there is the sort of basic pot, but we need to do these little detail bits. Now I think it might be fun to do them in a slightly pinkier purple. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I'm going to grab the Mauve Deep and show you. It needs to sharpen. There we go. So it should stand out because it's a little bit pinker. So you can just see this line is so fine. There we go. So we'll see it on the handles, they're much bigger. I'm going to put a layer down here first because I'm going to not keep it completely even. I think it'd be a bit darker here and on the edges. A bit darker down here too. If you put a dark line around the edges, it looks a bit more rounded. Can you see here? Hopefully. So start with a light even colour. Then make it a little bit darker here just because it's the edge, a little bit here. Then overcolour a lot just inside that black line and then do the same on the outside line. And then it looks a little bit more three-dimensional, hopefully. There we go. I'm just checking. Yep, I think we're done with that one. Okay, the little pot in front. Now, what colour should we do? I'm thinking pink goes quite well with the purple. Should we make it match? Or we could do blue? Let's have a think. What's the cobalt blue light like? Oh, that's really pretty. Oh, we've used it already though, I think. Haven't we? Yeah. Let's use it again. It's really pretty. So cobalt blue light. And for the lid, where I'm starting, I'm going to make it a little more intense here, then lighter towards the middle. This reminds me, this colour, slightly of the sky blue in Polychromos, but it's just got a trace of purple in it. It's such a pretty colour. I hold the page still while I do this bit. So again, I want to layer it up a bit more at the edge and actually at the bottom. I'm going to try not to go over those circles, but if I do, I do. It's not the end of the world. I haven't thought about what I'm doing with them yet, you see. If I go over them, they're going to have to be dark. If I don't, then, whoops, that's shadowing it, isn't it? It'll make it light. I could make them lighter. So I want to have less layers of colour near the flower, because I think that's sort of in the centre. Just trying to neaten it up a bit. There's all these little details to colour around. It's quite hard to get it neat. I think that'll do. Now the flower, I just quite like the idea of doing it a sort of pinky colour. Have we used, I think some haven't we used yet? That one, Bengal Rose, we've used that. We haven't used that yet. I think we've used the Bengal Rose Deep, but not the actual Bengal Rose. There we go. And we'll use it, oops, for the centre and the whole flower. I'm going to try to make it a little bit darker on the centre as the rest, but you can keep them the same if you'd rather. And then I think we can make these this colour like that. Now we need, I think I'm going to use this colour actually on this rim here. like that. But I'm going to use green for my leaves, and I might use green for the handle just to mix it up a little bit. I think probably slightly more bluey green might work better. I'm just having a look. Maybe yeah, let's have a go with the emerald green. Let's see what it looks like first. Where are you, emerald green? Yeah, that'll work. It's not as bluey as I would necessarily expect from an emerald green, but it's enough. It's quite pretty. Okay, so now with this, there's not much we can do shading wise. I might just try and fade it a bit towards the middle. There we go. Now we have our little cloth underneath. Thinking maybe a pale yellow. I'm just looking at the colours that we have. Maybe the lemon yellow light might work if I can get it out. Yeah. This will be the base of the cloth, and then the pattern will be a little bit more vibrant. I hope this will match. I think yellow and purple, they're sort of opposites on the colour wheel, I think. Might be useful if I actually had a colour wheel pinned up in here, but I don't really use it. I just go off the cuff. Is that the right phrase? But I like to just be open-minded usually and not plan too much. Now I'm trying to think of what colour to do our little pattern. I think I'd do the line and the triangles in the same. Don't think we want anything too vibrant because of that being so pale. I'm thinking maybe the yellow ochre actually might work well. I'm trying to work out if it needs sharpening. It does. Just a little turn should be enough because it's quite a small detail there. So here we go, yellow ochre. Let's just do each triangle. I'm going to try and keep it pale. Because I don't want it to sort of take over the whole page. I like the pretty purples to stand out. My sister's favourite colour is purple. My mum thinks my favourite colour is purple too. Hers is. When I got married I had purple in my flowers, but I had purple and white. I'm going to do the shelf. But it isn't necessary. I think my favourite colour is green. Really. I need to darken that shelf. I'm going to try using the Cool Grey Deep. A bit different. I'm only going to use a little bit because I don't know what's going to happen. That's okay. Just a bit. I need to sharpen it and then we'll do a little bit of shadow. And I think we're probably done. So under here and around, and also around there. Oh, my stomach's gurgling. I'm trying to decide whether to have a packet of crisps for my lunch or not. There we go. Maybe, yeah, maybe a bit at the bottom. Actually, just there and here. Actually, the cloth, yeah. I'm doing a bit lighter here because it's such a delicate colour on our cloth. There we go, that's better. So we are done. So, oh, we only have one left. Oh, I can't work out what that is. Oh well, it'll be a challenge for tomorrow. But thank you so much for watching. Yeah, come in tomorrow and for the very last one. So thank you for being colouring along or following along. So that's fabulous. But I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. But I won't see you, I won't even hear you, but if you leave a comment, I'll read you. I'm not making any sense. I think I'd better go. Have a lovely day and happy colouring.